All right, we're going to go on and get started. First of all, I want to say good evening to everyone and thank you for coming. And this is another day that the Lord has made. Let us be glad in it. Just happy to be here. Today is the Town of Fairmount Heights Town Meeting. The date is November 20th, the year 2019. And I would like for us just to have a moment of silence, just in memory of all that has happened and all that will happen within our lives and in the lives of the people of the town of Fairmount Heights. Thank you very much. If everyone would stand, we salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. You may be seated. I would like to give you one announcement this evening. Everyone has to be aware that Mr. Gray let me know that when you're speaking, please go directly to the mic and speak, because when he's trying to edit the tapes, there's an issue. So everyone needs to talk directly from the podium on the microphone there. All right. We have a relatively brief agenda this evening. One of the first things that we have is a police officer, Mr. Derek Hunter, that will be sworn in tonight. And at this time, I would like to have him sworn. So, Mr. Hunter, would you please come to the podium? I guess we need to turn this way. Oh, let's come over this way. Yeah. All right. And would you raise your right hand and repeat after me? I state your name.
I, Derek Hunter.
Do swear or affirm.
Do swear or affirm.
That I will support the Constitution.
That I will support the Constitution.
Of the United States.
Of the United States.
And that I will be faithful.
And that I will be faithful.
And bear true allegiance.
And bear true allegiance.
To the state of Maryland.
To the state of Maryland.
And support the Constitution.
And support the Constitution.
And laws thereof.
And laws thereof.
And that I will.
And that I will.
To the best of my skill and judgment.
To the best of my skill and judgment.
Diligently.
Diligently.
And faithfully.
And faithfully.
Without partiality.
Without partiality.
Or prejudice.
Or prejudice.
Execute the position.
Execute the position.
Of police officer.
Of police officer.
For the town of Fairmount Heights.
For the town of Fairmount Heights.
According to the Constitution.
According to the Constitution.
And the laws.
And the laws.
Of this town.
Of this town.
And state.
And state.
Consider yourself duly sworn.
All right.
All right. Welcome in.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
So great. All right. I'm going to sign here, Mr. Hunter, and then I'll have you to sign.
Okay.
I'll put the date here. Got to give the lefties a... Okay. There you are. You can sign to the left there. And we'll get you a copy of this original. Mr. Tucker will make a copy, and then you can take this on with you. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. All right. You can pass it over to her over there. Thank you. All right, would you all give him some applause? All right. Okay. All right. So we're going to continue on down the agenda. At this time, we have our police department report. Chief, would you come forward?
Good evening, everybody. I passed my report out to the mayor and council about a week and a half ago, so they all have a copy. But for the public record, during the month of October, we didn't have a lot of incidents, but we did have one serious one. I'll get to that in just a minute. On the 15th, we had a theft from auto on J Street in the 5600 block. Broke into the vehicle, stole the vehicle's battery, and then they stole 2 ruby rings from inside, which are valued at about $1,400. Also on the 15th, we had a murder. 1000 block of 56th Avenue, right there by the townhouses, right across from the wooded area. Calling out for a sound of gunshots, officers responded to the scene, found an adult female seated in the driver's seat of a parked car. and she was shot and pronounced deceased on the scene. The suspect left in a black SUV, and he was later apprehended about a week later. We had a natural death on the 18th at 803 61st Avenue, and officers responded there for a death report and discovered the decedent unresponsive, and he was pronounced dead at the scene. And on Halloween, we responded to an attempt suicide at 1058th Avenue, which is on the corner of 58th and J. An adult female was on the living room floor, said she wanted to die. She'd taken a quantity of pills and some alcohol, and she was transported to Doctor's Hospital for treatment and a psychological evaluation. And for the record, the breaking and entering at the house under construction by Habitat for Humanity, we were able to secure an arrest warrant, and we closed that with an arrest about a week or so ago. We'd locked him up once before on an outstanding failed to appear warrant, but at the time we didn't have our arrest warrant in hand, but we have since executed an arrest warrant on him for the burglary. Any questions?
Okay. Chief,
Ma'am.
there's one thing that I would like to see us do. Getting around the neighborhood, you get so busy here, we have so many things to do on a daily basis, but I would like to see us reinstitute our neighborhood watch program. And, we just need to put the information out, find out when it's a good day for people to come, because people are saying, I want this, and I'm going to volunteer for it. So now is the time to actually, if we just get one resident for a certain amount of streets.
Sure.
Because over here on 60th, we used to always have, Miss Graves is up in age, but she was our main neighborhood watch person.
Absolutely.
That did 60th, she did Lee, she did all of those streets because she was always home during the day. And naturally, she would definitely agree to do it. And there's a lot of other people that talked about it. So let's see what we can do about getting that going.
With the addition of another officer, it's going to be much more feasible to do now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because a lot of times people come on a Saturday morning, even if we get like 7 or 8 people and let it grow, or maybe you can hook it in with the Civic Association group or something, just so we have it, that we can say we have it on record.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Chief,
Okay.
I have a question. This Saturday, I got a phone call from the police officer that we talked to at the coffee shop with Belinda Queen.
Right.
You got the email that I sent? I
do.
copied you in. Have you gotten in contact with them yet?
No, I've been so tied up with this internal investigation, I haven't been able to breathe, much less get lunch.
But I did give her the list of the streets of interest, and
Yes.
okay. So I want to make sure that you did receive the copy and was hoping that you got in contact.
Yeah, I'm gonna, my goal is in the next week or so, I want to get back with Major Waddy from District 3, and we'll coordinate and get some of that done. They're usually pretty amenable to moving some officers around
Right.
different shifts. I don't foresee a problem with that, but we'll work on that.
Okay. Thank you, Chief.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah. You called the other day, didn't you, about one? Yeah, he went down, right. I've noticed that they're getting worse again.
Yeah. I mean, some days it's like 3 or 4 cars, and, if I don't see they, park here and they, leave and come back in 15, 20 minutes, fine. But, it's getting to the point where they're staying 2 or 3 nights.
And I got on Caleb, who runs the one auto repair shop. I got on him about that, and he's had to pay us several tickets that we've written, and we've actually impounded the cars. But I think some of it is now coming from the place across the street from him, right on the corner as well, because their lot is packed. And I saw the county had, since that is the Prince George's side, I saw that their people had gone by and stickered a lot of those cars, and they'd been towing them, but
But it's
Yep.
a house right there next to like that daycare. I think
Yeah.
they're using that as like
Yes.
a used car.
They
A lot
are.
of people actually
Yes, they
Yes.
are.
yeah, they're doing both sides of the ravine now.
Oh, yeah. And that, I just wanted to comment on that also. That's 5516 Sheriff Road. Mr. Pinckney had mentioned that in a meeting one night and said, everybody call in because it's a really big problem. And so I've called 3 times and they have a record of it. You know, they, under the 311 system, they record they give you like a certificate number and
Yeah,
everything.
they give you a tracking number.
It's in the record that I've been calling about that same thing, and I explained to them because Mrs., on the corner of Sheriff Road, right there, Miss, you know what I'm talking about, Miss, yeah, she was saying how much it's bothering her. So I called 3 times, so we need to just stay on it because they just come in and just set up a business, even though it's not Fairmount Heights, but it's affecting us, you know? So we really have to, now the county had said they were gonna send their code enforcement officers out to investigate, but I took it to heart after Mr. Pinckney talked about it because it was just, you know, I saw how it was building up. And then sometimes you even see the cones out there. They put 2 cones there as if that's their space, you know? So, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Okay. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Before we get the motion to approve the chief's report, I would like, Ms. Tucker, we need to do the roll call. We forgot all about putting it on here.
Mayor Martin,
Aye.
Councilmember Walker,
Aye.
Councilmember Waiters,
Aye. I'm sorry, not aye, present.
Here.
Okay. All right, thank you. We have everybody?
Yes,
Okay.
I would like to make a statement. Councilmember Morgan's brother is in the hospital. She's with him. And Councilmember Morris is at a crime scene. He does volunteer work for murder victims. So he did send a text, and I'm sure Councilmember Morgan did let everyone know about her brother. So I just want to put that for the record, Ms. Tucker. Thank you.
Okay. All right, at this time, I'll accept the motion for approval of the police department report.
I make a motion to approve the police department's report.
Second.
I got a second. You got a second on that? Are there any questions on the motion? If there are no questions, Madam Secretary, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Martin,
Aye.
Councilmember Underwood,
Aye.
Councilmember Waiters,
Aye.
and Councilmember
Aye.
Thank you very much. The ayes have it. The police department report has been approved. We're going to move down to the town manager's report. Mr. Ruman, would you please come to the mic? I skipped past Mr. Pinckney. I'm sorry, Mr. Pinckney. All right, Mr. Pinckney, would you come on in front of Mr. Ruman? Okay.
Good evening to the council and to the mayor and to the members of Fairmount Heights. Just to piggyback on the comment about the house on Sheriff Road, it's a mixed property. It's commercial and residential. That's why they can't do anything with it. Where they have yeah.
Say it again, Mr. Pinckney.
It's a mixed use. The house where she said all the cars are, because when they first started parking the cars up there, I got in touch with them, with the county, and they said it's a mixed use, residential and commercial. So there's nothing you can go do about them parking the cars up there.
Oh, no.
But
See, they didn't tell
they
me
can
that.
park on the Fairmount Heights side? Or they
No, I'm
park-
talking about in the lot where the
In the
house is.
lot.
Oh, okay, got you.
Yeah,
But
they have-
you were saying people are parking on our side.
No, I'm just talking about that. I'm talking about in the lot where the house is,
Okay,
that they authorized the parking there because it's mixed use, residential and commercial.
gotcha.
Okay? Okay. It's right next to the daycare.
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
I'm with the county,
Okay.
looking up Sheriff Road, Addison Road, Eastern Avenue, and is that over across the street with upstairs and downstairs next to Marble Lane?
yeah, it's next to the daycare.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll talk to you.
Okay. Okay, my report is from October the 16th to November the 19th. I think I gave all the councilmen a copy of my report. Okay, during this period, I've issued 3 building permits, one for Van Vent Solar for 1008 60th Avenue for $334, Solar Energy World for a project at 727 61st Avenue for $97.25, and for Ms. Noel Ellison at 759th Avenue for $225. During this period, we have issued 2 notice of violation of corrective action notices, one for Mr. Joel Quarles, 914 60th Avenue for tall grass, and Mr. Solomon Hamilton at 5333 Sheriff Road for tall grass on the fence. I think they had a complaint about that last month. And we have received rental license for the following, and that's for Mr. Mata at 5901 L Street for $100. EM Property, I spelled that wrong, EM Property Management for 702 60th Avenue for $100. And we have issued Mr. Tommy Broadwater a civil citation for renting without a use and occupancy permit for the property located at 5361 Sheriff Road. That's the old animal place. Jarrett Animal Shelter. His tenant called up here and submitted a formal complaint. And you have the pictures. I sent you the pictures showing you the different discrepancies in the property. And we have received business license renewals for the following businesses, and that was for Fairmount Heights Grooming Lounge at 5343 Addison Road for $565. They had some late fees because I think they were like 2 months late getting our business license. And we have not received any renewal requests for properties owned by Mr. Broadwater. That's the Broadwater Bells Bondsman, the restaurant, barbershop, or any entities he have on Sheriff Road. And the lot at 5710 Cole Street has been completely cleaned, clear of tires and debris. All that has been removed. And on October the 3rd of 2019, I attended a workshop at Home Free USA on the topic of land banking, and it was very informative. Their main focus was on vacant and abandoned properties. I had the opportunity to speak on one of the properties located at 706 62nd Avenue. That's Ms. Wong's property. There were some members of DPI, and I expressed to them that the owner of 708 62nd Avenue had been a squatter at 706 62nd Avenue for years, and that the county had performed 3/4 cleanups, and she still is utilized in both property. Within days of the workshop, 706 was demolished, and you have.
Yes.
And we
How
have-
long have we waited for that?
And we have before and after pictures of how it was and how it is now. And the last thing, I received the email, excuse me, I received the email today from Home Free USA. They're having another workshop on December the 3rd, and they're requesting a list of 3 additional properties that they can prevent or preview in this workshop on the 3rd of December. And also, I had a thought about the town of Fairmount Heights. I don't know, we'll go to the, what is it? The Fairmount Heights Civic Association. That maybe, if we could get maybe the residents to maybe do a block by block Christmas decoration kind of competition, you know, to get the citizens involved in trying to make their block, you know, enhance their block with Christmas decoration, Hanukkah, or whatever. Just a suggestion. That's my report.
Okay.
Any questions?
All right.
I'd like to get a copy of your report. I'm sorry. I'd like to get a copy of your report, please. I don't
Isn't
have one.
put it? I gave Ms. Tucker 7 copies.
It was no. Thank you.
Okay.
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
So question, I think the first address you mentioned on 60th Avenue, that's the street behind mine, but is that for, just a couple of weeks ago, they put up like a great big gazebo in there?
706.
It's on 60th Avenue, so it's kind of like in my backyard, but like one house over, but is that what you were referring to? Or you mentioned
No.
some kind of solar project?
No, that's 70. No, that's 1008 60th Avenue.
Okay, well, on 60th, and I'm not sure what the address is, but on 60th.
That's 1100 block.
Okay,
Is that 1109?
No, 1111.
Okay.
1109.
1109 is right next to, yeah. You talking about the next house down?
Chinese house.
The Asians, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. You probably can see it from,
Fire permit? I mean,
no, they have to have a permit.
okay.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, I couldn't see that from the 61st Avenue or from Sheriff Road, but I'll go look at it tomorrow. I'll always do it retrospectively. I always can give them a ticket for building something without a permit. Okay?
But I can see it if I'm like standing in my kitchen. You know?
Yeah, okay. I don't come in your kitchen. All right. Yes, ma'am.
Free USA. Don't they have a piece of property in the town of Fairmount Heights?
They have two pieces. No, they have two. Both of those properties have been sold.
Okay.
They had one next, they had the one at Balloon, the old Balloon place on Sheriff Road, 5533.
Yeah.
They sold that one, and they sold one at 705 58th Avenue. Both of those have been sold.
On that corner, wasn't it? On the
Corner
corner?
of where?
On the corner of 58?
No, it's right in,
The blue one.
yeah, the blue one.
Oh, the blue?
It's in the middle. You got 701, the Harrington House, then you have Miss Hagler, and they had the house right next to Miss Hagler, 705.
Okay.
Mr. Pinckney,
Yes, ma'am.
700, I see there's a lot of building material in their
Yeah.
front yard. Did they obtain a
Yes.
permit for whatever,
Mhm.
what are they about to do?
He's just doing some refurbishing after the renters left out. They came and got the
700.
700. Oh yeah, she got a building permit. She's just getting ready to do a fence in the back. Because he was seeing all the debris
Okay.
coming from that alley.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
Miss
And-
Ellison. That's, it's in my report, 759, it's in my report,
Yes, okay.
759th Avenue.
Has Mr. Broadwater been billed
For what?
for his delinquency and his renewals of his permits? His occupancy permits?
Yeah, I sent him a citation for
How
$1,000.
How many?
I just see the one, I just found out about, he was renting it the other day.
Okay.
Because when I realized he was the first time I thought he was renting it when we had a complaint in the spring. When I went down there, the gentleman that was doing the work said he's not staying there, he's just doing the work. But then he called last week and complained to Lieutenant Ivy. Lieutenant Ivy went there and took the photographs.
Okay,
Okay?
thanks.
Anything else? Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Pinckney. At this time, I'll accept a motion for approval of our code enforcement report for the month of October. I get a second on that?
Second.
Then properly moved and seconded that we approve our code enforcement report for the month of October. Are there any questions on the motion? If there are no questions, Madam Secretary, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Martin,
Aye.
Councilmember Abdul-Wahab,
Aye.
Councilmember Wade,
Aye.
and Councilmember Hardaway.
Aye.
Thank you very much. The ayes have it. We're going to move on down to our town manager's report. Mr. Rumi?
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council, and good afternoon to citizens, or good evening to citizens I haven't seen for a while. Happy to see you. Happy to see you, Ms. Saxton. Ms. Saxon, happy to see you. I submitted my report to the Mayor and Council at the last work session. However, there are some updates. So I'm going to start my report with economic and community development. As I notified you that on September 25th, our circuit rider, Mrs. Goodall, submitted our grant application. The Mayor and Council did ask for a copy. So I've been sort of busy, but I will make a copy of that grant application and put it in your boxes. It's several pages with several attachments. So you will get a copy of that. We submitted our application for the benefit of the citizens. We submitted for code 032, and that was the building, to make the building more handicap accessible. We cannot bring it into full compliance. However, we can make some improvements in accordance with the American Disabilities Act. And we plan to renovate the front entry area, which will include repairing the front landing, install activation switches at each of the entry doors, including the lower level, and improve the ramps to meet ADA specifications. I too attended the meeting on October 30th, Home Free USA. And Mr. Pinckney, they had 3 houses. Remember the house, you did say the house down on the end of 58th Avenue. All those houses been beautifully improved. And so I've had an opportunity to work with Home Free USA to look at, especially to make certain that the houses stay within the integrity of a historic town. As I had said to the mayor and council before, we have submitted an application to Maryland National Capital Park and Planning, and they're rewriting our design book so developers and new homeowners will be able to use that design to ensure that you don't have a smattering of modern houses mixed in with craftsman style and houses that were built in the 20s. So that is still a work in progress. At the last meeting, I talked to you, I'm still talking about economic development, update on the net zero housing. As I stated to Mayor and Council at the last meeting, I would be attending the 30th anniversary on Thursday, the 14th. It was a great meeting. Got an opportunity to renew acquaintances, especially with the new chair of the HIP and the old chair to meet with people. The person who was a former director of Park and Planning, Sam Parker, was happy to see Sam Parker. And they informed us that Fairmount Heights is in the pipeline. Our net zero housing project is in the pipeline, and it is included in their annual report. I don't have enough copies to give everybody, but may I give you a copy of the annual report showing our net zero housing project. The update, especially for Mr. Councilmember Morris, I did get a chance to talk to Stephanie and to Marianne Dillard. And so the earliest schedule they have, give us some grace period, to start the project will be spring of 2020. So that give us a little leadway. However, I still encourage you to work as diligently as possible so we won't be at the last minute. The deadline actually was when you went to settlement and sold the property. So I'm excited about that. The Green Team, I did send an email today to the Green Team members changing the date, but I must update you that because I did that, the earliest possible date we're gonna have a meeting is January 2020. My only concern about that is we are already behind in meeting our deadline for Sustainable Maryland. We certainly, with a lot of success, we went through the Green Team Action Year 1, and we were able to make many achievements. Some of them you see, the pooper scooper, we got those up and around, and people are using those pooper scoopers. We were able to, in terms of working with the Green Team, we had our first community garden. We were able to take children on trips to a farm. There were many things that we got accomplished year 1. Year 2, not so. So we really need to speed up things for year 2. So the earliest meeting would be the 4th January, 2020. And some of the members of the Green Team are sitting in here, so I did send that email out today. Let me see what I have. On October 19th, we had an exciting Saturday. It was Prince George's County Growing Green with Pride. In my report, I failed to mention that Councilmember Hargrove attended and really did a great job participating, so did Councilmember Morgan, and Mayor Martin was there. But our special guest was certainly the County Council member, Jolie Ivy, and she brought her 2 of her staff members, Nikki Greco, who's the Constituent Service, and Mr. John Sheridan, who I learned a lot from in terms of green and planting. So our project, we did plant trees at the Veterans Memorial. So I was excited about that. Stormwater management. And then I'm happy to see some of the residents who will be impacted by this project, especially if you live at Lee Place and 61st Avenue. I did finally receive an update from Mr. Namdi. last week, to say that the project will start in a couple of weeks. So what they will do, they will be sending out, since we're not having a green team meeting, they will be sending out notices to all those people who are in the impacted area. I will update our website and put that information on the website. And for all of you who are not familiar with the stormwater project, this is it. This project is worth several millions of dollars. I haven't got the exact amount, but I want to thank our Secretary, Ms. Goodall, for coordinating and pulling that all together to get this project started. We've had months of problems with stormwater management on 61st Avenue in that entire area. And as you drive through town, you will see that we have water problems just sprouting up everywhere. So we are working with WSSC and with this clean water, stormwater clean water partnership to address those problems. Also, historic preservation, the Prince George's County Historic Preservation Commission or Society, they are issuing grants for historic properties. Dr. Matthew Stevens, the owner of the Samuel Hargrove House, applied for a grant to make improvements to the Samuel Hargrove House at 5907 K Street. He's seeking a letter of support for the preservation. Just bear in mind, historic preservation, the funds can be only used to restore the exterior of a building and not the interior of the building. That particular grant is what is bringing money into the town. Always say connect the dots. Because the county has that money available, I think recently we've had 3 to 4 homeowners of historic property apply for funding to improve their properties. It's a process. With historic preservation, it's a process. I own a historic house. It takes years. It's a process because you have so many entities to approve the changes that to be made. But the good thing is the dollars will be coming to Fairmount Heights. I don't have a lot to offer in terms of the priorities for our Public Works Department. As I mentioned, the storage facility, at least we have a little breathing room that would give the mayor and council the opportunity to consider the type and kind of building or storage unit that you would like to have to store the equipment. And again, I encourage all of you to work with us for the preparation for winter and snow removal. That concludes my report.
All right. Are there any questions for Mr. Rumi?
Mr. Roman, can you, the Home Free USA meeting, can you elaborate on the land banking?
Oh, yes, I certainly will. First of all, I'd like to thank you for attending. And in my report, Mr. Payne, you were there. I was taking the glory for the quick attention that we received. And as I said to the mayor and council, sometimes to get things happen, you got to show up. Because, I mean, it was literally a few days after that meeting that house was torn, that property was torn down. Also, what Mr. Pinckney did not mention, I'm going to get to that in a minute. What he did not mention is that the 2 properties owned by Mrs. Wong is now in foreclosure. Okay, so for tax, going up for tax sale, she owed a total of $61,000 for the property, so it's most likely that will go for a tax sale. So when we go back to the second meeting, I guess we need to continue bringing our case study, because we do get results from our case study. So I was excited about that. So at that particular meeting, council member, the whole purpose of that meeting is Prince George's County is making plans to create something called a land bank. It's not in place yet. A land bank is by states, now I can't quote the exact state bill number that gave the state the authority to grant to municipalities the right to be a part of a land bank. It can be 1 or 2 municipalities. It can be 1 or 2 counties. So they're working on that. And Mayor, at the same time, I need to thank you for all the work that you've done with the organization. I think it's called Better Housing Year 2035.
Oh, yeah, the housing project.
The housing project that the mayor's working on.
Yeah.
And she wasn't able to attend last Friday, so she asked me to attend. The good thing is some of the same players who've been at the same series of meetings I was attending. And so Fairmount Heights is getting a lot of attention. Dr. Skinner, who was once the director of Department of Housing Community Development, grabbed me quickly on Friday and asked me, Mr. Pinckney, to send our maps and our data on the ownership of those scattered sites. Also at that meeting, Mayor, I would like to inform you that I met my successor from Marshall Heights. His name is Mr. McGraw. And Mr. Kevin McGraw is the Deputy Director for Development for the Housing Authority. So he has agreed to get with us to meet, to talk about the disposition of those scattered units owned by the Housing Authority, which there are many. So some of them are sizable for development and some of them are not. However, there could be other uses, such as community garden, other green projects. There are many uses that we can discuss. So I will, once I hear back from them, I will set up a date and let you know, Mayor, in terms of those meetings. Okay. Yeah, so like I said, a land bank is a tool given to municipalities through the state of Maryland to form a bank, and the purpose of that is to eradicate vacant and abandoned properties in Prince George's County. Well, in the state of Maryland, but mainly in Prince George's County. So right now, the working team that Mayor Martin is a part of, and I'm an ad hoc member, is to make recommendations to the county as the structure of the land bank. And I think, Mayor Martin, the next meeting is December 13th. Okay. It's on a Friday.
Yes, okay, they always have their meetings on
a Friday.
Okay. Okay, all right. Okay, well, thank you very much, Mr. Rumi. Are there any other questions for Mr. Rumi?
Yes, Mr. Rumi.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned public works and the building. Where is it going to be located?
And our recommendation for the location was to use the property across the street because there certainly is space for a moderate-sized building. However, this is tied in what we're discussing, that there's a parcel of land owned by the Housing Authority, even over there in the county. So that's why it's important that we have this meeting. So there is space over there to put a building on that side where the vacant lot is, where the parking lot is.
Mr. Remy, I talked with Mr. Arrington from Delegate Ivy's office. Mm-hmm. And he said that she had instructed him to follow up as far as the K Street lot that we've been requesting some action on for a while. And also, across the street here, we need to make sure that the parts that belong to the county are identified so we can move forward with having a space that we can call our own. We've been using it now, but we need to have it deeded over to the town.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I mentioned that to them when I was at the meeting down in Cedar Heights.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. All right, are there any other questions?
Oh, Ms. Nancy.
Saxton?
Did you say they're going to start building the houses up on 65th Avenue?
Yes.
Net zero.
Start building those?
Not until spring. I don't have an exact date in spring, but they gave me a projected date of spring of 2020.
They gone and looked at the property because the property is water and
They've done all the testing, all the boring for the last 2 years. That's what they've been doing. Testing, boring, title search, all of that has been done.
My question is, if in fact you go and get block grant money to build things like that garage is built with block grant money, then you want to, how many vacant houses?
We're not using block grant funds at all.
We have, that building's got the block grant money,
Which building?
that garage up there. Now, our question is,
It's no longer there.
how many vacant properties lots do you have in Fairmount Heights now?
I will gladly send you a copy of not only the lots, but I will send you my map that I work with Park and Planning to put together. As a matter of fact, I'll just drop it off for you. So I don't know exactly how many. I've lost count. And the one reason I've lost count, because now we begin to see progress. We also see the, you have number of vacant houses that's coming on board, but you have to look at the new houses or houses that have been renovated, sold, and occupied. So we're getting a balance there of some things happening. And the other thing, I'm not so sure anybody's going to bring up the census of 2020, but I almost can project that you're going to see from the 2020 census, you're going to have an increase in incomes, and that's tied to block grant. You're going to see an increase in incomes, and you're going to see the increase in the median price of houses, because houses are now selling for $400,000, $350,000. So you're going to see an increase. And all of this is tied into whether or not how much money you get for block grant, how much money you get for schools, how much money you get for anything. So that's so important.
Has that probably been tested for Lord Stewart?
What?
Lord Stewart in town of Fairmount Heights?
Say that again?
Probably been ready to go somehow.
All, as I mentioned to you before, all for the last 2 years, the HIP partnership have gone through all of the testing. I have to contact HIP. They own the property. I'll contact HIP.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions?
All right. There are no other questions? Thank you, Mr. Rumi. At this time, I will entertain a motion for approval of our town manager's report for the month of October.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept the town manager report.
Could I amend my report really quick? One of the things I forgot to mention, and this is, I did mention it at at the meeting, and this was about a grant concerning stormwater management, and it's funded through, it's coming through the Maryland Black Mayors Association, which Mayor Martin is a member, so it's Ms. Goodall.
I'm the president.
Yeah, it's the president. And the good thing is that 5 lucky homeowners in Fairmount Heights will receive a grant in the equivalent to the amount of $5,000 to make stormwater improvement to their homes. It can be gutters, downspouts. It also can be pavement of driveways, planting of trees, a lot of things you can do with $5,000. We have not worked out the fine details, but I thought it's something I bring to the attention of the residents.
Will elected officials be able to apply for that money?
Pardon me?
Elected officials, will they be able to apply for that money and say,
I don't know in terms of the deadlines, but you know, in terms of deadline, in terms of the guidelines, we have not finalized guidelines for that, Mr. Carlton.
Mr. Morrison needs to apply for that because
Well, it's up to him to apply.
he's not here.
Okay.
And I was hoping he'd be here.
Okay.
Enough streets and water going through the street to set his,
Okay.
you know, we didn't, you know, that. Maybe if he need to tell us about that.
Pardon?
Did any paperwork come through for Christmas in April?
For this year, no, not yet. Not yet. We haven't. I haven't received, but they it's on our website. So and it's automatically updated. So anybody who wants to apply for Christmas in April can apply.
Okay.
It was 3 of them.
3 for Christmas in April. Okay.
They already applied?
I'll follow up.
Yeah.
The county already went too.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
Said it's 2 on 59th and 1 on 8th.
Oh, okay, that's good. I will follow up because they don't come.
The town ain't anything about that.
Right? Yeah, they don't count. They don't.
I was asking.
No. But I'm glad you did because that's information that we need to follow up and make certain that the citizens know about Christmas in April. Yeah.
Okay. All right. We're gonna, since we did
That's it.
interject that, I was waiting on a second on Mr. Rumer's report. I needed a second.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Second.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded that our town manager's report be approved for the month of October. Are there any questions on the motion?
I have one question I made a note of. You mentioned winter prep. You mentioned winter prep. What was your reference to winter preparation?
I can't hear you.
What was your reference to winter preparation you made?
All I'm asking is that we take the necessary steps to prepare for winter. Weather's not getting salt. We need trucks. We need to push the snow. In addition, one revelation from the cleanup greenup, we just need simple equipment like shovels and all that kind of stuff. So I will get with the council with a list, my wish list of things that we need. But more importantly, you need to have a vehicle that's going to push the snow.
All right, thank you. If there are no other questions on the motion, Madam Secretary, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Moore.
Aye.
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 Thank you very much. The ayes have it. We're going to move down to our treasurer's report, and I think we were supposed to receive another copy of our treasurer's report. So we're going to have to table that for tonight. And at this time, I would accept the motion to table it. That would be the October report.
So moved.
Get a second?
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we table the report for the treasurer for the month of October.
Madam Mayor, is that an updated copy to the treasurer's report?
Yeah, because the last one, I read into the record.
Yeah.
So we were supposed to have one that was an updated copy. And I didn't have it in my box, so, okay. All right, are there any other questions on the motion? If there are no other questions, Madam Secretary, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Moore.
Aye.
Councilmember Upton Walker.
Aye.
Councilmember Wade.
Aye.
Councilmember Hall.
Aye.
Thank you very much. The ayes have it. So we'll make sure that gets put in for our December meeting. We're going to continue down to new business. Ms. Saxton, if you could come to the podium now. We have included you on the agenda. So, I know you're representing the historic trails, and if you would like to go to the podium so that you could be captured, it would be great.
The reason why I'm here is about a couple of things that have come to my attention. And one of them was that when you change your charter, I'm sure when y'all go to Ocean City, y'all go to your classes and you're seeing the charter change. But one of the things is that I told the mayor that she said going to 4 years. And 2004, the thing went in for you all to do 2 years. Resolution 2, 2004. I didn't call up here today to ask because she didn't answer the phone, whoever didn't answer the phone. So what it is that when you put in to run 3 years and you had 4, but the state had scratched and say we're small municipalities and we didn't have a lot of places, like we used to have 31 stores and all that business. And they had all the council people signed, everybody signed, it was ready to go. And Lily was the mayor then, and all the other council people signed. And when it was supposed to go to the state, I don't know if whoever was the clerk didn't send it to the state or what happened. So you need to look at that because you should have had the meetings. And the other thing is that it brought to my attention, and I need to tell you all, Miss Tucker is clerk for the town of Fairmount Heights. Miss Tucker is to tell y'all when y'all doing wrong. She is supposed to be over the police over y'all. And it's not that y'all supposed to tell Miss Tucker what to do, okay? And like the last things, there was back and forth with different things. That is her job as clerk to the council. Now, you go to public information, you'll find all that out. And that is, you need to look into that, and you need to get yourself together. But I think that Lily, you need to look at 2004, have Ms. Tucker to pull it, and see where your thing about the time limit on your council board. Because in 2011, the state did look at it again, and that one had the mayor would run 3 years and the council 2 years. But it wasn't no, the information was no meetings on it, no public hearings and all that kind of stuff. But the 2004 was supposed to go to the state. And I don't know how it got lost or where it got lost, because one day I came up here, was doing something, and liaison Wood Dotson, community service, she wanted to know why was I sitting in there when Tucker first came here and she was cleaning out different stuff. And then the police chief, Rice, told me to come downstairs, and we looked, all the old file cabinets was there, and they were going to throw out stuff, and all your information, your books and all of that kind of stuff. And that's something you need to really look at to see what's going on. Now, the caller bus. The caller bus. Fairmount Heights had a caller bus that's been, they did away with your other one. I talked to the liaison. You all are liaisons and not committee chairs and vice chairs, because that's when y'all go out and people will, like the foundations and the Kellogg will give y'all money to go all over the country to attend things, you know, and they more so. But the clerk came with the, when we had the other way y'all have it, committee chairs, that's just, it's just something that came when we had to go somewhere. Years ago, we had to go somewhere to Cleveland, Ohio, and somebody said something, so just put them down as that. But that's one thing I have. And I told Wood Dotson that at the county, she was supposed to give it to your circuit rider or your town manager to replace the bus. Now, this mess I'm hearing that council people are saying, and everybody's saying only one person is riding the bus. Let me tell you something. The caller bus, when we got it, is for Fairmount Heights, Cedar Heights, Chapel Oaks, and all of that. And y'all was the lead. The person who was in charge of the caller bus, he's supposed to have a driver's license like a bus driver. That person will schedule the people, take them and all that. But the only thing that Mr. Canada was here, Mr. Canada knew how to get the trash going and everything, had no problem, 8 o'clock. This thing is that if the people are paying taxes here, their own property paying taxes, and to do with whatever the council people want to do or whatever they think is fine to do, it should stop. Because most of the people in here own their property, pay taxes, as high as taxes is, and it should be, you should have more with that. That's the only thing that I wanted to talk to you, one thing I had to talk about. But the other thing was with those up there, when Mr. Rumor said they're going to start building up there, tearing the garage down. And the garage, the county wanted to know all these vacant properties y'all got in the town, and how many belongs to the county, how many belongs to y'all. You should be doing fill-ins. And just like we did the fill-ins with Habitat. We got 4 Habitat houses in the town of Fairmount Heights. Mm-hmm. They was on fill-in properties. And so that's the thing. You're not coming and talking to the citizens enough. And I'm only around here today because I had to bum a ride somewhere, and I wanted Lily to know about this, to check on you, because you're already at the state, and have Tucker to call up there and find out, and you don't have to go through it. And when you have these, changing these charters and stuff, you gotta have your work session and the meetings. So that's the only thing. But the other thing is about Sheriff Road. I deal with the Sheriff Road, Eastern Avenue, and Addison Road. And if you're talking about that house, the lady was talking about the house, you know, over there across Sheriff Road. That's on Fairmount something, because Fairmount something coming in. On Marblewood Lane, it's right at that corner. Because I know, because we were getting ready to annex into Marblewood Lane back, to go down 62nd, down 61st, go across to Marblewood Lane. And all the paperwork was there, and that's why I know more about, you know, up there.
Okay.
So the only thing is that you're going to have to, you know, get more in tune with your citizens and see what they want, and not what somebody on the council want. And Joanne Benson is calling me, Sylvia Syfax, I don't know for what, saying that Joanne Benson said she can't remember putting in a bond bill to build houses, and that's all I'm going to say. Don't ask me about it.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
The other thing is that since somebody was passing around a petition that y'all gave yourself bonuses, all this money, and I'm letting you know tonight, and I have told you, you all owe me money from 2012, and I'm going to tell you something, and I've given it to y'all, and y'all humble somebody say not. But let me tell you, I know how I can drive now. I go down 202, I go up there to the circuit court or district court, and I will file complaint. And I'm not going to file against the town now. I'm going to file it to each individual, and I'm not going to have it paid. I would have it, it's no threat, I would have it delivered on your job. Okay? I don't have no problem with that.
Okay.
That was my job in federal government, locking up people, you know that.
Right.
So that's all I have to say.
All right.
And I want to know more about these houses and what you're doing up there to the garage.
Okay.
Okay, and then
All right.
the only other thing is that
Thank you, Nancy.
Fairmount Heights is a historical district. And in Fairmount, anybody in Fairmount, your house, my house, new house, we are the historical district on the federal government. Now, if somebody wants to build something and they can go, they can get the money to build it. And I sit on the Historical Society Board, and this is what we do. So there's money. There's there are non-minorities. They getting all kinds of money. You go down the road and they got just one door hanging up there, one half or something. Not pay had that house, and they getting all kinds of money. You coming out little minority neighborhoods, and all you're doing is fussing and thinking you can't get nothing. Now the thing is that 1111 Carlton, them Chinese, they had stuff growing all across the fence, and now the stuff is down. That's where that thing the lady talking about. And 1109, the Chinese done bought that too, haven't they? Their car is parked there every night. I was trying to get my buddy to come through early in the morning to see if the car was still there. So, and know what they do, they bring in, we had R55s. These are not rooming houses. You got rooming houses, people rooming rooms out, just like the little boy in town. But the thing is that you need to get yourself together because we are a historical town.
Right.
And that's it.
Well, thank you for everything, Nancy.
No, you don't
All right.
thank me.
Yeah, well, I mean, might as well thank you. Might as well thank you. We're going to move on down, and we have gotten to my report, and basically, I have quite a few things that I was going to talk about. I just want to sort of give some updates on the things that have been happening around here as far as the meetings. On the 30th, there was a very interesting meeting with Senator Ben Cardin down in his office, and it was very well attended. They were talking about postal issues, and Ms. Capers went, I went, and it was just such a good conversation because what they were discussing was the problems that we're having with the Postal Service, and I made sure that I mentioned that the Capitol Heights Post Office is in need of upkeep and repairs, and they don't do anything to it. They just leave it sitting there like that. You know, so the manager from Capitol Heights was there. I had a chance to talk to him. He said, pretty soon, when you come past Capitol Heights, it's going to be a visible difference. So You all let me know if you see it looking better, because he said he's gonna get it polished and shine, and he's gonna, by the spring, he's gonna put new flowers out and do all kind of things. So we will see, we will see. Another thing I talked about at the meeting was the issues with the carriers driving up on the sidewalks and doing all kinds of things. You know, we have these kind of things, people calling here from time to time, always reporting them. So I mentioned those type of things at the meeting. Now, some of the people that were there, they were talking about the unresponsiveness of the Postal Service in general. So there was a lot of back and forth, and the meeting was very long, but it was a fruitful meeting. So at least our name and our information got out there, went to let them know that Fairmount Heights had issues going on also. So I think that was good that Senator Cardin called that meeting. He wasn't there, his assistant ran the meeting, but all the municipalities and, like I said, quite a few people showed up that day. I wanted to mention that I think that was one day last week, that was Jolene Ivy had a fundraiser. I try to keep up with some of her different events, and she sent out a text message. She had something at Copper Canyon down here in Woodmore. So that was rather interesting. The third thing that I have listed here is strategic plans for the town and a retreat for the mayor and the council. Now, this was scheduled previously. It was scheduled, and because of the fact that the company that I had chosen wanted to charge us, it was the price that they gave us, it was sort of a last minute thing, and it was too expensive. So with this one, we have someone who's made a presentation, and I called her to say, can you come forward and work with us the first of the year? So it would be in January. So that's coming, that's gonna be forthcoming, and I want to put that on the list. But it'd be strategic plans for the town and a retreat. Okay, I had listed here 5516 Sheriff Road concerning those cars and the various times that I called to report that. So that is in the record, and hopefully you're gonna be able to find the difference, because I can't see how they could just get away with saying that that's just a multi-use facility, because that is just no kind of facility. To me, it's just a bunch of cars just junked up there together. You know, it's not even organized. Earlier this evening, I went to the Fairmount Heights, the future of Fairmount Heights High School meeting at Cedar Heights Rec Center. Some of the booklets and information on the table, if you all would like to pick up one, you can see what it's all about. This is the second meeting that I can remember, but everyone received a notice in your home about coming to that meeting. It was very well attended. I didn't get a chance to stay the whole time because I had to get back here, but it was very well attended. Mr. Wilkinson from the governor's office called me today, and he's setting up another meeting with me on next Wednesday. This is a continuation of what we were talking about for the development of the Sheriff Road corridor. So I normally talk with him first, and then I'm going to bring them in again so that Dr. Green from Morgan State and Mr. Wilkinson will be coming back. Earlier, we did receive, I just gave it to the council this evening because this wasn't actually ready. This is the resolution, whereas we're going to sign off on a resolution to work with Dr. Dale Green and Mr. Winston Wilkinson on the development of that corridor. So we hope to see that become fruitful very soon. Another thing that we're going to have the resolution for is the trash truck. Now, the research has already been started. You know, we've started this research even a couple of years ago, but we're going back to it because of the fact now that our trash truck is it's 18 years old. And it's, you know, we have to get another one, and looking towards annexation, it's going to put us in a position to where we could pick up trash for Cedar Heights and for Chapel Oaks. And that way we could sort of make, you know, if we could get annexed in, it would make for a much better community effort. So we're going to put that on the front burner. So we should have these two resolutions ready. The council should be able to review these by our December meeting. You only have one? The one for Dr. Green. I know. The other one is not here. Yeah. The one for the trash truck is not here. Okay, but we're going to have that. let me see, I think that was basically what I really wanted to talk about. Some other things are coming up. You know, you're going to see, we talked about the Pocket Park and the construction of the stormwater project. Just talking about all the positive things that are happening here in the town. The Pepco Smart Home Pilot Program, that's another program that's going to open new doors to energy savings for customers. So anyone who's interested in finding out about this program, you contact Pepco Communications at 202-872-2680. It's a good method of energy savings for Pepco customers. If anyone is interested in going, Councilmember Benson sent in a notice saying that her final breakfast meeting for this year will be Monday, December the 2nd. And you know, she always has it at St. Margaret's Catholic Church on Addison Road. So if you would like to attend, just go on down and join her. They always have a pretty nice group there. And I think that's basically what I wanted to talk about. I'm going to move on down to the council members. I'll start with Councilmember Akandu Uwaka.
Wow, first for a change, okay.
Yeah.
Good evening to everyone, and first and foremost, I want to say congratulations to you, Mayor, on your win.
Thank you.
And my report goes as follows. I attended all meetings that were called. I met with the chief for updates on the parking by permit. Our back-to-school event went flawless. The kids had a ball. The parents were very grateful for the supplies that we provided. I'm looking into my next venture with being sponsored by the Prince George's Chargers Youth Athletic Association to start a after-school tutoring program. And I will keep everyone updated. Basically, there are quite a few mothers that are teachers with the Prince George's County School District, as well as with the private school districts. Now, most of you know me, that when I feel that something needs to be said, I have to say it. And first and foremost, in reference to all the kerfuffle, so to speak, about our bonus checks. First and foremost, I have made my check out because there are 4 of us still sitting on this council that received those checks. Anyway, I made my check out today, which I'll be turning over to Ms. Tucker. It's made out and it's signed, but it's not dated. Once Mrs. Tucker has acknowledged to me that everyone else has provided her with their check, I will notify her to date mine and cash it. And it was a lot being said that the council was behind this. The council wasn't behind this, but it was that of the citizens. Because according to this Washington Post article, if in fact the council had been behind this, all we had to do was lock the doors on the mayor and keep her outside. But we didn't do that. We put it back in the hands of the people.
You couldn't do that. You couldn't do that.
No.
According to this, what was done to a previous mayor.
The mayor locked the door.
In this town.
She
in
locked
this-
the door.
Excuse me, this is
Go
my
ahead.
report.
It is your report, correct.
That can't be done.
And again, according to the way that it was done, if we had found her to have done some misconduct, we
Down, and I was excited.
would have taken it into our hands. The council had nothing to do with this. There was no dissension on the council. There was no coup being done on the council. And I would also like to make a challenge to all former council members to which those of you made a statement that we all should have been recalled. Well, those of you that received checks as well, I challenge you to write a check and pay it back as well, because he is mine to date. He is mine. And that concludes my report.
Okay, thank you. No, we're gonna go on down, finish all the council reports. Councilmember Waiter?
If you want to do a sidebar with me, Ms. Sanders, I'll be more than happy to. Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's my Councilmember Saunders. I'm gonna give my report, but before I give my report, I'm gonna make correction as far as I understand. There's no, what mic? Oh. Okay, hold on. I said I'm going to respond to the error that was just made, because it's my understanding that the council recalled the mayor at that particular time because the mayor locked the door and the council could not get in. I don't know the nature of who walked who recalled who. This is over. The recall is over. In terms of speculation as to who had to do with what, it's over. It is over. I commend Councilmember Uck for producing, her expense, replacing her expense, and if that's what we have to do, that's what we have to do. We have spoken with the attorney concerning what our responsibilities are, and so I'm going to say one last time, it is over, but I'm going to end it with this, and I said this in the beginning. If you're going to come after one, you should have came after everybody that got a check. This costs the town money for $100. And I'm going to end by saying this while we're correcting things. And Miss former council member Saxon, you kind of sort of hit on it, and it was brought before us in a meeting in terms of the budget. There was an increase in the stipend. And those that are sitting in office are not supposed to receive the stipend. That was this former election, this recent election. Therefore, 3 members of the council are not supposed to or should not have received the bonus. If we're moving forward with correction, let's do it right. If there's no divide at the table, let's not show a divide. Let's fix it, because there is a divide at the table, whether the council had anything to do with it or not. Stand up, Carlton. It got a whole lot to do with what I'm saying. It's my report. Okay, I answered it. I do have an attitude, council member. I do. I am. They can see that I have one. You don't have to correct me. I'm really I'm sorry. I am tired. I will go to the lectern. I don't care. Right now, at this point, my concern is you all. I came back. I ran for office as mayor for the people. I'm here for the people. We have done nothing from May until now. Nothing. So if we can increase our spending per your tax dollar and deliver nothing, that's a problem. It's a problem. So I say all that to say that we are here to serve at the pleasure of the people. And some of us are making decisions. All it takes is 4 votes. Let's get real. 4 votes. 4 votes. And those 4 votes are blocking things from moving forward. This recall was one of them. You didn't stand up, Carlton. You didn't stand up. Did you stand up? I didn't tell you to sit back down. I'm going to commend you in front of these people for showing up at this meeting tonight. How many years have you served? Okay. Close to 30 years. 30 years. I commend you for showing up in this meeting. Carlton was dismissed from his position today. I have a problem with that.
Are you serious, huh?
with no provision for winterization of the town.
Wow.
With no one to replace with no contention plan. So now I'm ready to give my report. I'm sorry. There is more. Mayor, I'm gonna forfeit a portion of my time because at this point, because I'm for the people, at this point, this is what I'm asking for. I have a list of things for my report, but this is what I'm asking for. I would like in our next meeting, I would like for the people that chair, the council persons that chair committees, I want the description of the committee read into public record and their responsibilities. I'm asking that their reports be given according to what they are responsible for. I'm asking you to hold them accountable for what they don't report on and what they don't deliver. I am also asking that you all challenge the fact that council members serve as chair on one committee and the co-chair on another, and that there is no committee because there's only two people, and that they're crossing over instead of serving where they're supposed to serve. And if they do position themselves to serve for the committees that they are supposed to serve on, we wouldn't have all this going on. The town would be moving. Now, I'm going to end it by saying this. I went to a meeting on Saturday, and they're talking about economic development that's all around us. One of the main points the citizen talked about when they came in here to hear what the mayor had to say about the recall was the money that was being spent. One of the main things that came out of the last meeting was our position in terms of economic development and the value of our property. You all are getting the calls. You all are getting the letters. All eyes are on Fairmount Heights right now. And this recall was an embarrassment. It was an embarrassment everywhere I went. While we're thinking, nobody knew, everywhere we went. The higher elected officials wanted to know what is going on. Nobody that had any intention on helping us, they backed away until this was over with. I'm telling you what's real.
They sure did.
So we can sit here and pretend, but I'm telling you what's real. I'm telling you what's happening. If I have to step down tonight, I will, and stand out there with you all like I did when I wasn't running or when I wasn't serving, and advocate, because it ain't right. It is really not right to put her through what she went through and act like, per the questions, the inquiries, the special meetings. How much have we spent? That's another question. How much have we spent on legal fees between now and back to May on special meetings?
Right, right.
Here's another one. There was a meeting that was held. Councilmember Akindua Walker had one. Councilmember Hargrove had one. Where are the minutes? Where are the minutes? The one that I sent you the copy of that I had on my phone. I'm making a statement before the people. I'm making a statement before the people. This is not a discussion. Point of order. This is not a discussion. I'm giving a report. I'm giving a report.
But you point of order. Let her finish.
Point of order. Point of order. Point of order. Thank you. So, I'm sorry. I had to get that out. That's not the last of it.
No.
That's not the last of it from this meeting. And further on, I demand that they deliver. I demand that they deliver what your money is paying for. Right now, you're getting nothing. You're getting promises and favors. I'm sorry. I went to a meeting. I went to a meeting, a Future Forward. Mr. Rumi talked about the land banking. I did not bother to advocate for census because I thought Councilmember Wood Dodson and Councilmember Morgan was going to take care of that. So I tend to not be, try not to be overbearing. But anyway, I try not to step my boundaries because I've been chosen to be responsible for economic development. Annexation. But annexation cannot move forward without the wheels that's on the cart with the other committees that are in place. annexation, if we have nothing to sell or bargain with in terms of what we're doing in terms of economic development, we have no value. So my focus has been on a strategic plan the mayor mentioned. The mission, the vision has already been, we did a resolution for that, the SWOT analysis I am preparing. But important about the meeting that I went to on Saturday, they talked about land banking, they talked about the census, they talked about the value of each individual person counted. Here was the embarrassment though. They put up the number of places that were undercounted. We were one of them.
Fairmount Heights, yeah.
We were one of them. Each individual that is not counted cost us, let's say cost us, but it's a value of $19,000. That is for various different school, various different resources that we could get money for. If we're not counted properly, it goes someplace else. So I'm not going to dwell there, but I decided, per the recommendation of Councilmember Uck, to do a workshop to inform citizens of the census. I went to UCAP. UCAP does a lot of things in terms of economic development and housing, and they started here in Fairmount Heights. I serve on the board, and my question to them last night was, with the different initiatives in terms of housing, we are in the impact area, but none of your projects have an impact on our community. So I'm working with the CEO, Rashida James. We're supposed to meet next week. We'll be there for CEO Monica Jameson, supposed to come, Monica Golson, I'm sorry, is supposed to come there, so I'll be there for that. Prince George's County Democratic Central Committee, District 24, which we happen to be a part of, will be feeding the homeless at St. Margaret's on the 15th of December. And so we're asking for people to come out and help and make a recommendation to me or one of the council persons if you know anyone that's homeless and needs to come and eat on that particular day. They are passing out toiletries as well. I went to emergency preparedness meeting and I've spoken with council and mayor about our need to consider data retention and saving some of the historic artifacts that we have in terms of our minutes and other paperwork, resolutions, things like that, anything of grave importance, you know, and I have experience in that area, but I realize that for me to speak to the council, maybe there may be a learning curve because that's what I did for over 40 years. So I spoke to the committee for emergency preparedness as they prepare for the classes that will be offered at Maryland Municipal League for a one-on-one business continuity / emergency preparedness class to be presented to the municipalities to get clear understanding or better understanding of the need for that preparedness. I talked about the census workshop and us being hard to count. I made note of the charter changes that Ms. Councilmember Saxon spoke of, the caller bus, the committee chairs, infilling of the land and the net zero houses. Want to say this about the caller bus, and you may not know this about that, former council member, but the caller bus was underused when we had it. The mileage on the caller bus, when I was mayor, the mileage on the caller bus was greater than the usage, the number of uses. And so when the opportunity came for us to be able to renew just a maintenance plan for that vehicle, and it was sent for PMI, it was found that it was so rusted and so deteriorated that they would not replace it. And so because we didn't utilize it for what we should have utilized and the mileage was so low, we did not qualify for a replacement. And that's why we don't have a bus right now. Not to say that that was some years ago, we couldn't position ourselves to get one, but the key is to identify the need. You have to do a needs assessment. How many people in the community need transportation, alternative transportation? And one reason being, Ms. Saxon, it may have only been one person, but they look at that too. Nobody was really riding the bus. So, I'm not asking for an answer. I'm just saying, you said you made a statement, and I'm making a statement for my understanding based on that particular item that you mentioned. That's why we don't have a caller bus.
Yeah.
So I'm going to end my report with this charge. I was elected into office, and the remainder of my term is 3 years. I came back per the request of members sitting at this table to help us move forward. per conversations, we're stagnated. Per conversations that people deny, and I'm getting older, but I don't forget, that they have had with me. I don't care about what happened yesterday concerning the town of Fairmount Heights today. I promise you, sitting at this table, that I will fight to move forward. Now, here is the criteria. I have to sit before 4 people, if they don't like me, that will vote against me and or her for what's right, for what's right. Every time they do it, I'm coming to y'all. Because if it's for you, if it's for y'all, that's the place where it's supposed to be. Now, that I will not apologize for, because that's the fight in me. I've been here for 40 years. My parents invested, and now I'm an investor, whether I'm sitting out there or I'm sitting at the table. You're stakeholders, and I am one too. When I chose to sit back here, I'm a leader. We tend to think, oh, I'm a citizen too. No. When you were elected, you became a leader of the people. You can't transition yourself back to a citizen when you're a leader, unless you just ain't sitting in office. Now, I'm going to end it right now by saying this: if God be for us, who can be against us? I really, at this point, I'm so frustrated for this last 6 to 7 months of doing nothing. And we got 3 or 4 years to do this. I hold my hand up to be charged to be a part of moving this town forward. And this day, I confess before you, they ain't gonna like me after this. I'm done.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Councilmember. Thank you. Okay. Councilmember Hargrove.
I could choose to answer some things that were done here and things that were said that were incorrect, but instead of doing that, I'm going to read my report. And when you do decide to bring out, Mayor, the description of all the duties of the chairs, you will see that every single thing that I'm charged to do on my committee has been completed. Everything, except for one thing that I've been waiting for 3 months, and if you really want to say 2 years, and that's the interview room to be completed. And that's not due to my fault or to my doing. So I'm not going to answer any of those things that were said. I'm going to go to my report. I attended the Green Summit in Kentland Community Center. As some of the things that you said, we brought back information for the Veterans Memorial, which we are looking to improve. I also attended the Green Up Cleanup, Green Improvement, which Ms. Sarumi talked about. I also made a second appointment with Robert L. Gray Elementary School to do the tutoring program, which we're going to hopefully be able to view on the TV station, and also work with Councilmember Akindu-Awaka, since she's going to be doing the tutoring. That's something else that we could work forward to and plan to do together. I attended the Veterans Resources for Congressman Anthony Brown, and I have a number of veterans that I have been working with and helping them get their claims done and sending them over. I also attended the coffee workshop with Belinda Queen, and I'm sure that's not the correct name, but where we talked to the police officers along with the citizen associations of Fairmount Heights. We did get them, like I said, I forwarded the email to the chief. We talked to the chief in work session, and on that following Saturday, I got a phone call, which I forwarded the information of streets of interest to Maryland and the DC police departments, where they will be taking roll call on our streets, driving through our streets. When they have to do reports, they will come to our streets to show a presence. And I'm going to conclude my report there. Thank you.
All right, thank you, council members. We're going to move into public participation now. So if you have any comments you would like to make, you can go to the podium and go on and start public participation.
But I say something, Mayor.
You can go to the podium, Nancy.
I came here to be nice tonight. And I'm gonna let you all know that I served on the council, I served on the council. Every time, I told somebody on the phone today, I don't know who it was, I said every time you look, you didn't give Public Works, don't have no equipment. You know, Public Works don't have, don't clap, don't have nothing. And Lily, you know, I fuss about it all the time. And we went to Ocean City, that truck was gotten by Saxon and Saxon. They went to Ocean City, and what happened at Ocean City, the people didn't want to take the truck back to England because it was some kind of truck. Joanne Benson did a bond bill and sent the truck to Fairmount Heights. Then let me tell y'all something. Tell your council people something, I'll tell you anybody. Public Works don't have no equipment. They don't have no employees. You got one man doing Public Works. And let me tell you, I know, because like I do the cleanup for with the county. When the snow come, Carlton come, Nancy. Them people from the county coming on down, I say, Carlton, let them come on, don't let them go out. Let them come on down, push the snow on through the county. Every time you're going to fire somebody, get rid of somebody. One time the boy's wife was in the hospital on life support. You got rid of him. You fired him. The other time, another one was there, you fired him. Okay? Every time y'all find people because you don't like them, I don't know what it is. You find them, you find them, fine. You tell them again. Now he up early in the morning, coming around, and now you're trying to do what, done fired you? Y'all need to get yourself together. You need to get yourself together. Look and see what you're doing. Okay? When you can find out what you're doing and what you have been doing, then you can come out here and you can find anybody you want. Now, I came to Fairmount Heights in 63, 62. I happened to got here because, like the Martins know, I was in upper mobility when Congress put the bill lower there. Then they spread it to the cars, and they was in the other program, the 2-year some kind of program. Every year, the federal government sent me to school because I was with United States Public Health Service. I was in Health and Human Service, United States Public Health Service. I was with Commission Court down in the South Building, and late Trotter, he was with the FBI, the Bureau of Prisons. Every time the lady told me, you won't be coming here. Next, I say, well, where I'm going now, because I was on the riff. Over there in the little town over there in Maryland, they can't get themselves together, Nancy, and this and that. If I could go and sit on the bus with Rosa Parks, certainly you can go. When that lady told me Fairmount Heights, that white lady told me Fairmount Heights, I got the snickle and the giggle and the higgle and the hick. She said, well, Nancy, what's wrong? I said, I live there. She said, well, you can come to work every day. Okay? That's one thing, you know, and that's how I got here. Margaret Brooks and them, she was what, you know, it doesn't make sense. Now y'all come up in here and hum. I'm telling you, if you think about firing, y'all better change your mind. Okay? Now, somebody said they went to the, something about the paper. I like to see that part. Every time y'all, Public Works, y'all find Public Works. Got to find, you getting filled. And when they go down and collect the money, I didn't fire him, he resigned. Okay? Get yourself together. And as far as Pat Waiters, as far as that bus is concerned, the thing about that bus, more than one person. I got on the bus and they holler about I got hurt and they think I'm not getting no money, whatever. Somebody said. I got on the bus because I wanted to see. Because you know when they say, tell me something, I want to see. I got on the bus with that girl, Mr. Canada's daughter, or whoever she was. That girl would take you, and I said, I'd be out in a half an hour. I'd be out there. I would sit there half of the day. One day she took me and left me. I had to call Richard up to come and get me 2 o'clock because she came home. Get yourself together. This is a historical town. It's on the National Register as a historical town district. If it wasn't for Jack Johnson and all of us getting it on, it was on this board, got us on it, and now y'all gonna be a disgrace. Now we are trying to get together to get in the historical thing downtown. Who in the world gonna put anybody anywhere? And like I said, I told them I was coming over here, ain't no such thing as committees. You are liaisons, and one person, if you're the liaison to whatever, waiters, you're the liaison to that, you're the liaison, and then you come back to the council meeting, you ain't get this subcommittee and co-chair. Like she said, you're changing over and over. Okay, but y'all gotta get yourself together. If you think that, and somebody say, Nancy, just sit home all day, tell them, Carter, I'm on the phone, and yesterday they counted about this Fairmount Heights. Okay, and if it ain't about they getting rid of Miss Lady across the street, well, what's going to go on? Okay, you didn't tell me about the people 2 doors from me. Don't tell me to sit down.
Oh, Lord.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Nancy.
Now, y'all get yourself together. And Carlton ain't going nowhere. If Carlton go, all of y'all go. And I need to see, can I tell Miss Morgan, did I sit down, Lily? Miss Townhouse Morgan. I had some, to let you know you are a liaison, and I am working with you to get your townhouse together, okay? Y'all think I don't know, but let me tell you something. I talk to everybody. I know when the governor came about Sheriff Road, when he came down here, I was in a meeting with Hargroves, and he said, Nancy, you going? I said, I ain't going over there. Came here, and I went there with Lily and the 2 townmen. And I know he asked you where was the people at. Okay, they keep me informed. Okay, so y'all gotta let people know. You got all these people over here. You got Brooks's granddaughter over there, and everybody over here. Get them people, tell them come out.
Right.
Okay. And y'all better read under.
We want to have them come out.
Carlton ain't going nowhere. Y'all go.
Thank you, Ms. Nancy.
All right, thank you, Nancy.
Thank you, Ms. Nancy.
Okay, all right.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Daisy Capers, and right now I'm serving as the interim president of the Civic Association. There's something that Nancy has said, and she said it repeatedly. This is a historic town, but guess whose town it is? It's our town, okay? It's not their town, it's our town. And you know when they say government is for the people, by the people, and of the people, we are the people. So I want to invite all of you. Our meeting is the first Monday of every month, starts at 6 o'clock. I want you to come for one reason. We've asked our government for a lot. But you know what? It's more of us than it is of them. Do you know what we can do? Power is in the people. You've heard that a lot of times, right? We need people to come together to help the government carry forward programs they need to carry forward. A civic association can do a lot. There's a young man who's no longer with us. His name was Mr. Gallion. I remember him very well because he lived in Jefferson Heights. As a matter of fact, he said these words to me, so I want to go annex it now. I said, I'd like to annex your community into Fairmount Heights so we could grow. And you know what he said to me? He said, over my dead
That's what
body.
he said.
Well, he's dead
That's
now,
what he said.
so I got an opportunity, you understand?
Uh-huh.
I just put that there to say this. When Mr. Gallion was president of the Civic Association, the recreation center that you see on Sheriff Road is part of what he asked for. All of the development in Jefferson Heights came by his efforts. Civic associations can do a lot, but guess what it needs? That's all I have
Yeah.
to say.
And that's true. That's what it needs, people. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good town of Fairmount Heights. I first want to congratulate Madam Mayor. The people have spoken. And then I want to talk about after the people spoke. We spent, like she said, a considerable amount of money from one thing. It's just not the $100. This is not just about $100. So we can cut the bull about this $100. This is the fact that somebody wants to be mayor. This is what it's about. So all this, oh, it's about $100. No, boo-boo. That's why when you say, oh, I have a blank check, I have my check. That's not a problem. I can give $100. Mrs. Ucka do Uwaka. Mrs. Ucka can do it. Mrs. Whatever. All I'm saying is.
Don't say it at all.
Fine. Pat.
Yes, ma'am.
Uck.
Oh, which one? Okay.
Councilmember Pat Uck.
Thank you.
When you got up here and said $100, this is not about $100.
I said 3.
Oh, you have $300.
And so do you.
No, it was $100 bonus.
$200 in 2012.
Okay.
Can't debate.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm okay. $300, whatever. I thought you said $100. This is about $100. That's what you said at first.
No.
But this is not about $300 or $100. This is about the things. This okay. Well, I'm happy that she's back. I'm happy. You know, I'm happy. I'm happy that she's back. But I'm just saying, the money that we spent to keep, she could have just been on. But the money we spent to just get her back again was ridiculous. This whole situation was ridiculous. And it has to do with the strain. And you can say it's not because one of the people here that was here to go around and have a petition. And the petition people were lying. They were at the doors. I have friends that live in those apartments who came to me and said, well, Ms. Saunders, I didn't know. And I told them that you was a council member, and they were like this, that, and the other. And I was like, this is just not right. This is a waste of money, a waste of time when everybody could be doing stuff in the town, for the town. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I'm not trying to argue with you. All I'm saying is, it's like you're bitter or something. You're mad. For what? Because she's mayor?
Would you like me to answer that?
No, I'm just saying this. It's not just you. I'm just saying you had just got mad with me, but I'm just saying it's like you're angry. For what? Y'all should be, y'all don't have to be friends, but work together. When I was on the council, that's all I said was let's all work together. Even though one person was doing something, it wasn't just one person, it's other people. One person talks to one person, another person talks to another person, and then you're all getting bored. Like I said, it takes 4 votes. It doesn't take 1 vote, it takes 4 votes. And then you're out. So if you get your 4 people together and you say you're not going to vote on something, guess what? It doesn't go through. The town still is stagnant. The town still looks stupid. People are still talking about the town, and you go in front of these people talking about, yeah, you talking about your own town to other municipalities. Come on now. And it looks crazy on you and us as Fairmount Heights. That's all I'm saying. We all just need to get along. When I was on council, I said the same thing. You are on the council. You need to be, like she said, for the people. I'm part of the people. I'm a citizen. And I don't like what's going on. Period. Over and out. And that's my opinion, and that's opinions of people that I've talked to, too. And yes, since she was recalled, all y'all need to be recalled. I mean, not recalled. Since she had to be recalled, yes or no, and we all voted yes, y'all all need to be the same thing. And let's see who gets in, because we can weed out the people that don't need to be on the council. That's the whole thing. Period, over and out. I thank you. That's all I had to say. And Carlton, I didn't know that you were out. I apologize for the people. And go ahead, say what you had to say, Carlotta, because Carlotta's flabbergasted. This is ridiculous. It's an embarrassment to the town.
So can I make a suggestion, since you all are out there and you're concerned and some truth has been told and all is not out just yet, then again, I'm trying. Stand up again, Carlton. I am demanding that he be brought back to work. Effective tomorrow morning. I am.
It ain't bother me. I'm looking right, all them sad faces looking at me with their mouth turned up. You know what? You do what you gotta do. If you wanna bring me back, I'll come back. But they gotta go. All right? And I'm gonna find a way. Look at still looking. Look at them still looking. I see the expression on all y'all faces. I ain't never did nothing to y'all. You mad because you lost the election. You mad with me because this part, I never did nothing to none of y'all. So I got a problem with me. It don't matter to me. It don't. Give me the trick. You got no problem.
The Bible says, touch not my anointing and do them no harm.
You don't want to come out? Okay.
I made a statement, I'm sorry. I did, I made a statement, I got no response. I was demanding.
So for the statement that Ms. Wade just made, there's something that needs to...
We have to get to the mic, because he said this is all, you know, for...
Yeah, public participation. Yeah, come on, everybody come on.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Folks that lives on J Street. Excuse me, Ms. Wade has just made a suggestion. I was very shocked to hear that Mr. Carlton was dismissed. I know when we had a problem next to our home and it needed to be done, Mr. Carlton took care of it. I know when we had situations that needed to be done, Mr. Carlton took care of it. I know I've seen him in his truck cleaning the street. So I want to understand why Mr. Carlton was removed. Also, the citizens need to know if there are people who are blocking progress, the citizens need to know consistently who these people are, because when it's time to vote, they need not to be reelected. And the citizens need to know so that we can make our voices known. Because it's not about us, it's about Fairmount Heights. We want Fairmount Heights to be great. Okay? So first of all, Ms. Wade has just made a statement about Mr. Carlton, about him being reinstated. What's the process?
You all have, he's been served properly in terms of personnel. We can't really get in. I am asking you all to support what I just said.
So is it, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, we service you all. For me, if you all ask, I asked for that he be reinstated. If you all support that, it's done.
Okay, so Ms. Wade has just said that she asked that Mr. Carlton be reinstated. It's also been brought to our attention that the citizens are the ones that can finalize. And these are just the citizens that are here. We have many citizens, but these are the ones who came. So according to what she said that we have the authority, am I correct? The power to say we want Mr. Carlton back. So do we just have to raise our hand?
You can make the suggestion.
Okay, so how many people who are in favor? Okay, I hear
You
you.
can make the suggestion.
Okay, a suggestion. How many people that are here now are in favor? Would you please stand that if you want Mr. Carlton to remain? I am a citizen of Fairmount Heights. My name is Mrs. Folks. I live on J Street. Okay, and I've seen this man be of assistance to us. So if you are, these are the people who are standing and saying, and I'm standing with them, okay? They're saying that we want Mr. Carlton. We want him to come back. Now, I don't know what you can do, but this is what we want. You know, I know for what I have seen him do, and to help us as citizens, this man has been there, and he has done it, and I've seen it. He has responded, and he's done what he can to see that what we've needed to be done, be done. So I'm standing with those who stood to say we want Mr. Carlton to continue as the supervisor of the Public Works. I'm sorry, what'd you say? Yeah, he does well for what he has, you know. He's using his own truck. He was using his own truck. So that's just my thought. I wasn't gonna say anything, I'm gonna be quiet, but when I heard, what's your name, ma'am? No, the lady standing. Miss Saxon.
In the state of Maryland, I sit on anything in the state of Maryland, and the government, I work 4 hours out of my house with the government and Capitol Hill.
So after I heard Miss Saxon speak, I just felt compelled, but I sit there, I listen. I like to listen, I don't just like to jump. I like to listen, but I just had to stand. I just told my son, I said, we have to do what's right.
Yes.
We have to do what's right. Okay, we're gonna answer to God for everything. Whatsoever man sow, that shall he also reap. Christian, non-Christian, Buddhist, whatever, Judaism, whomever, there are laws in place that the Creator made for whatever religion, even if you're in Muhammad, if you're Muslim. Whatever a man sows, that shall he reap. So let's sow, let's do what's right. We will reap it. Let's do what's right. I don't know about who's the for or the stops, but let's stop it. Everyone here has been elected. You're here to represent, to work as liaisons, as former Mayor Saxon said, for Fairmount Heights. Let's make Fairmount Heights a great place by doing what's right. If we're a historical black community, we need to stand out. That's a shame that she said she asked someone to work with us, and he said, not over my dead body, or whatever he said. That is a shame. It's a disgrace. It needs to stop. So that's just my pitch. You've seen people stand. I'm standing with them. Please listen to the people. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
I hate a microphone. Good evening, citizens, fellow citizens. My name is Carlotta Bryant, and I am a citizen of Fairmount Heights. I first of all want to thank Councilmember Pat Waiters. Your statement before your report answered every question I was going to ask tonight. I came with the intention of finding out several things, and like her, you say you sit, I sat and I listened, and you answered all my questions. The only question that did not get answered, I will address, but I want to thank you because I wanted to know if, as town elected officials, you were able to publicly tell us whether or not you can get along as council members. And I'm like, you don't have to like each other like she said, but everything that's happened, it makes me think that you don't have the ability or the desire to work together for the good of the town. And that bothers me. I've been a citizen of Fairmount Heights all my life, and I have not quite ever seen anything like this. I've seen some real low things, but not like this. This is just blatant, out in the open, in your face. And so I was going to ask if you would be willing to admit that you have problems, because it's evident to us there are problems, and they are blocking our blessings.
Yes, yes.
So the answer is, I don't know whether you can or not. I would love to know, because I think that is the crux of our issue. We can't move anywhere until the council board can move as one. And if that's not possible, we as citizens need to know. We deserve to know whether or not you can work together. I am shocked and appalled about Carlton. I had no idea. I know it was just today, but that blinded me. I didn't see it coming. But what I would like to know is, why is Carlton, has he been dismissed? And who has the authority and who dismissed him? I would like to know. Tonight.
Let me say this, because there was a comment made earlier about, no, that's not how it's done. And I think council members, a couple of council members out there, and I think you've been with your grandfather and grandmother. But let me just say this, ma'am. The government is the people, plain and simple. We're governed by the charter. The charter places, there's always a reference to the mayor being a weak mayor. Not true. Some powers were removed per the recall that Councilmember Saxon spoke of. There were some powers of the mayor that were removed, but it did not make the mayor a weak mayor. So a lot of times that's what the divide starts with. Oh, well, the mayor only has one vote. Not that we're sitting at the table and we're doing structured business and we're taking care of the business of the town, just that one vote. So everything is really contingent upon the vote. Right, wrong, don't like you, the vote. In terms of Carlton, and I'm gonna go back to the mayor being a CEO, the way that the charter reads, the mayor is the CEO. There are 3 positions in the charter that the council appoints. That is the police chief, the treasurer, and the attorney. Those are the ones that we, the council and the mayor as a whole, appoint, address. Everybody else comes under the mayor. The council makes the mistake, one, of thinking there's 7 of us that come in and out of this building, and everybody wants to give directives to the staff. And if the staff, lo and behold, are too busy or don't address it, they didn't do what I told them to do. Off with the head. The staff reports to the mayor. That's it. That's all. To end it, I made the demand. It's really not, it doesn't come back here. It doesn't have to. It's out there now. We serve at the pleasure of the people. The problem is the council really doesn't know their place or what their responsibilities are. And when you try to help, you don't know what you're talking about. That's the divide. That's the divide. For me, some will say no, but Ms. Bryan, I've been a council person 3 times. I've been challenged as a mayor. I'm not speaking on my behalf. I'm speaking on behalf of the people and what's right. And a lot of times that's what the problem that they have with me, because in the meeting, I'm the one that's saying, no, you can't do that, or no, that's not right, or whatever. Point of correction. What's right is right. And I'm going to go back to what I said again. At this point today, it doesn't bother me how they feel about me and my corrections, because I'm going to keep doing it. You're wrong. So to answer your question, it's because the council thinks that they have the ownership of hiring, firing, and making decisions. Hence, where most of the the special meetings that have taken place, these decisions were made as a part of those special meetings. By which, let me put this out there, no meeting should ever take place without you all being notified. So to put a post on the front door and say, no. You're supposed to get a notification at your door about a special meeting, particularly the budget. A special meeting concerning personnel is private, but the outcome and whatever the decision is, you all are supposed to be informed. That's the way it goes. Now, I said what I said. It's been publicized. You all heard it, and I can back up what I said in writing.
Okay, so with that said, that means that we, the people, have decided that we want Mr. Carlton to remain in office. That's what we want, and that's what we need. That's who we need, and that's what we want. And I want to walk out this door tonight knowing that tomorrow morning Carlton is coming to work. And that's it for me. Oh, one other question. Trash truck. Are we getting a trash truck? Is that the plan?
Yes, that's the plan. Right now, we had some trouble, there was a seal that was being ordered in order to get that trash truck back up and running and get it inspected. There was some concern about it, the inspection schedule. So that seal, I'm not sure whether it's in, that's why we had to go to Greyhound. They're sort of our default company, like when things happen, we normally get them to come and pick our trash up, because basically, in the long run, they normally give us a good deal on our trash pickup.
Okay.
They negotiate with us. So we're in the process of trying to do that as soon as we can get that back up. But we have done research. I've done it. Mr. Room has done it, so that we can get a new one. We're coming up with some pretty good prices. The company in Virginia is called Tom Sales. They had the better price out of all the research that I did. So we're going to try to get them on the line and try to negotiate with them. But we had plans of having a resolution ready tonight to just pass it and have the vote on it. Didn't get it finished in time. We did come up with this resolution here that's for the Morgan State and the governor's office to work to get an MOU put together, but it wasn't ready in time for all the council members to see, so they all have copies of it now. So that when that's read, we're hoping to get this signed, get it read into the record and signed by the December meeting.
Okay.
And basically, hopefully by the December meeting, we should be able to have some concrete word on when we're going to be able to work with that company, because like I said, they had a better price.
All right.
Yeah.
I want to congratulate you on your new job, Carlton. See you in the morning.
Yeah.
Excuse me, so are we saying that Mr. Carlton is coming to work tomorrow? Yeah. Mayor?
Well, and see, well, see, now I want you to hear what council member,
So what's the
now,
personnel issue?
yeah, but
Okay, after the
you have to
20
take a
years
vote.
of service. That's a personnel
Yeah.
issue. No.
You have to take a vote.
No, but, no, okay, so what can we do? Because, see, we are the citizens.
Yeah.
And you all are here
Yeah.
for us.
Right.
And we know what this gentleman has done for us as citizens. We know what he has done for us. So you're saying that you're disregarding our desires, our wants.
I said that's a personnel issue.
Okay,
What does
it's
that
a
mean?
town issue though,
It's a personnel
because we are town people. It's a town issue.
What does that mean? It's a personnel issue.
It's a personnel issue. The decision was already made.
Decision was already made?
No.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But can't you have an executive session?
Yes.
You
We
can have an executive session
We can.
to reinstate him.
Let me,
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
we have an
I'm sorry,
executive
I'm sorry. I'm really tired. I am really tired. What can we do? We can't change it? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. We do not hire and fire the staff. That is the mayor. But if you come here as a citizen, we're not discussing his personnel file. We're not discussing his income. We're discussing the fact that his dismissal has rendered you without coverage in your Department of Public Works. It is getting cold outside. We don't have snow, salt. None of that's in place. So, Councilmember Morgan, you're over Public Works, but what you're doing for Public Works is not your responsibility. Your responsibility over Public Works is a liaison. And a description of the committee, as I restated, will restate again, it's written. And everything that is written does not apply to what the conversation is in terms of the Public Works Department. We're a liaison, meaning we're supposed to identify what they need and bring it back. Help him with his budget when he presents it to the council. That's what we're doing, and answering and passing legislation on behalf of the citizens. That's our responsibility. That's what we were elected for. Read the oath of office. And the charter does speak to our responsibility, and that's where I am. Quit snowballing your responsibility. Every time you say it wrong, I'm going to get up and say it right. And what I'm saying, I'll say again, it is written. It is written. Read your charter. Read your charter. Most of the time when I speak, I am speaking from the charter. We appoint. We appoint. Only those 3 positions do the mayor and council get together on. And mind you, you all have said it, get together on. It is not about the 4 votes. It is about delivering to the citizens. But that's what you have at the table now, 4 votes. 4 votes on the phone, 4 votes when we get there. This is what we're going to do. The decision is already made before we get to the table. So we can't do anything. I don't care about the personal stuff. What I want to see is a Main Street on Sheriff Road.
Yes, I want to see it too.
What I want to see is bicycle racks. Now let me end by saying this and remind you that during the election there was a platform held here in this room and promises were made. And those that were running for office said what they were going to do. And quite a few spoke to overlapping economic development. 7 months in, where are we? Nowhere. But firing personnel. The 85th anniversary. The budget. And what they don't understand is that the report for your committee is supposed to roll up into the main report that you report on. Not I've been here, I've been there, or whatever. For what? What does that do for me? Or what did it do for you? Because I attended 5 different events. What did you bring back? What did you negotiate while you were there? So what are we talking about when we say we can't bring him back? Or you've already made the vote. You didn't deliver it to him the right way. Let me give you this information. Text messages, emails to make decisions are a part of the decision-making process of this council, wherein they can be challenged because they're public information. Why? Because it was used to make a decision on your behalf. You want to see who's making decisions? Challenge them for the text messages. Challenge them for the emails. Like I said, I could say a whole lot more. It's quiet in here now.
That's because we're waiting for you to get finished.
I am. I can say a whole lot more. I'm going to finish this session and wait for phase 2. Wait for phase 2. I'm finished with this session. I'm going to be finished with this session.
You're saying a whole lot that's not
Councilmember
true.
Hargrove, I'm speaking to the citizens right now.
That's not true.
Yeah, well, you know what?
That's not true.
Right now, I'm sorry. If you don't mind, If the citizens don't mind, this was citizen participation, wasn't it?
Yes, this is.
And I got up. And y'all don't mind, do you? Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
We don't have a.
This is just, as I keep going on and on, let me just pin this and say this. I'll say it today the same way I say it tomorrow. This is just phase one. Since I'm being challenged about my time, I'll give you more. But I'm going to say what I said again. I challenge them to give the report based on what they are responsible for. And to say that I have, what I'm responsible is finished, your second time on the committee is finished, oh, good. What are you doing now? That has to do what you're supposed to do. Last question. It would be better, council member, it would be better to bring the description into a public meeting and read it into public record. It would be better. Along with the fiscal year responsibilities that are listed below. That's what they're responsible for. Otherwise, it's legislation, resolution, and no one person runs this. It's 7 of us. Ask me, go ahead.
Was it posted on those sign down in the townhouse and the sign down there and the sign out front?
Was what posted? Was what posted? I'm sorry. Was what? I don't understand your question. Was what?
Posted out for the public?
The meeting notice?
But anything, is it posted out here?
It should be posted anywhere and everywhere that makes it public notice to let you know that there's a meeting going on. Even if my thing is, touch the door.
Right. But down there, you know, like.
On Sheriff Road.
The billboard?
Yeah.
It should be.
Yeah.
I think, don't you update the billboard? Don't you update the billboard?
Yeah, we have the little mobile units too. That
Okay,
we really,
that answers that question, I guess. I don't know.
there's a mobile unit that's in the back. It's a little standing information. Information. Standing information. Yes, ma'am. Well, see, basically, we're going to have, we could go into executive session right after this. And, you know, I don't think everybody would mind. We need to go into executive session. Because we have to deal with this. We got to deal with it. No, we're going to executive session to get the final, get the final vote. Yeah. No, not to get rid of him, just to take some action on what the people have demanded. Or, I mean,
I'm talking about when you told him that, you know, that he was whatever. Who came up with that? 4 people came up with it?
yes.
It was more
And
than
did he
4.
have,
It was more than 4.
Well, certain members of the council came up with it, yeah. Okay. So,
Is that it for me? I'm sorry.
so,
All right.
okay. So,
Can you prove that? I didn't hear what was said.
I mean, you can always request the records.
okay.
Good evening, Mayor, Council,
Yes, sir.
and citizens of Fairmount Heights. I just wanted to let you know that on Friday, I had the pleasure of having a meeting with our county executive, Mrs. Angela Alterbrooks, as you know, Mayor. In the beginning of our meeting, we talked a great deal on municipalities. We will talk about various issues and topics to help make our county a great place. And as I told her, help us make us more Prince George's proud, as a slogan that she's slating for our county now. We begin to talk about the great town here, historic town of Fairmount Heights. The county executive was made aware of the recall election, and she thought it was the most ridiculous thing ever to take place in the town. And one thing that she's willing to do, she wants to come here to meet with the mayor and council, to have a sit down, so you guys can start working better together, to put personal things aside and be able to get back on track and get working for the citizens of Fairmount Heights. Second thing, she wants to do a walkthrough of the community to look at all the vacant, abandoned homes throughout the community. as well as take a tour down Eastern Avenue, where you had some murders and whatnot, as she did before within the Sea Pleasant corridor part. Now she wants to come on the Fairmount Heights side. And also the 4.4 acres of land as well. She wants to talk about developing the gateway entries into our county as well, because we talk about developing all the gateway entries. But nothing will be able to get done if you keep all this infighting. Nothing. Unless the county is going to come in and take over and do, y'all won't have no say-so.
You're
And
absolutely right. I agree with you.
Thank you. Another thing, I just have a point of suggestion, and me and Mayor Gant from PGCMA had discussed this. When people have come up for public comment, for when you have public comment for the citizens here or visitors to come up, I think it might be best if you make your comments, you submit your written statements to the clerk. Maybe just make this a point of order, or for someone can introduce a resolution, or this a point of order for future meetings. And no one from the dais actually make a comment, because a lot of, it looked like just seeing tonight and from past meetings, there's a lot of back and forth between the dais and the community, which is not really good. Definitely, y'all on TV now. Imagine how you look on TV. I'm just saying, there's something to think about. The school board, you write your comments down, you have a set time to give your comments as well, and you give it to the clerk, and then the council or mayor can respond back via written comment, or they can make a phone call to you. That's all I have for tonight. Hopefully you have a blessed night.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to just take this opportunity to go back. We keep talking about moving forward, and there's nothing else I want to do but to move forward. You keep talking about dissension on the council. We went through the same things when former Mayor Waiters was the mayor. We had the same problems. This seed for this recall was planted during her administration. Excuse, sir. Sir, what I'm trying to explain is this. We are trying to work together. Well, you know what? You may not, and just like you said before, that you would walk a petition to walk me, so be it. But the thing still remains is this. It was not the council that engaged in this recall of the mayor. It was not. Why would we? We were the ones, we were victims of it. So why would we engage in this? If we are to do no more than anything is to agree to disagree on certain issues. We're not going to agree on everything. And that's just a fact. And again, we had nothing to do with this, no matter how you think about it.
What I want to know is, why didn't the council use a common sense consensus about this walk-off and all this crazy stuff? It's going to cost this town $10,000 or more. What? That's what it's going to cost. Why didn't you stop it in the tracks? You know, when you got the money, you didn't say nothing when the girls started walking the petition around. Why didn't you stop it? You know she was lying.
She wasn't lying. I did receive it. I did receive it. Did I know that it was against the law for me to receive it? No, I did not.
Okay. You saw the petition?
Yes, I did.
Why didn't you stop it there?
Because I received it. She said it was against the law for us to receive it. I did receive it.
Okay.
All you had to do was use this common sense approach to it. You could have stopped it in the extract. You didn't have to go through all of this.
Okay.
And another thing I would like to say this, there's something called protocol. Whether you like it or whether you don't like it.
Chain of command.
Or more phone calls yesterday, not one person except Patricia Waiters, Councilmember Patricia Waiters, called and congratulated my wife.
That's the first thing out of my mouth was I congratulated her.
Here.
So what's the difference between here and doing a phone call, sir? I don't understand.
No more comment.
Okay. All right, I think we're going, at this point, if there are no other citizens that really would like to make comments, we're going to, did you have something to say, Mr. Pena? Yes, sir. Okay, yes. We're going to accept the motion for it.
I would just like to say on behalf of my friend and co-worker, Mr. Carlton, that if it wasn't for Carlton, a lot of things that I do that I wouldn't be able to do. Because when I asked for like vacant properties, Carlton's been here forever. You may have a rental property. I don't know it's a rental property, but Carlton knows the history of the town of Fairmount Heights. And to me, I think it would be unfair to dismiss him. You know, that's all I have to say.
All right. Thank you very much. If there are no other comments.
I got one thing.
Oh,
I know it, and I ain't been out, and I got back here every night, and look, when you gave a report, you stated y'all gonna have a retreat.
Retreat, yes.
Why y'all out here paying a company to have a retreat? Because the last time we had a retreat, remember? Steve Proctor got someplace over by the Cadillac place, and they had everybody coming. These people coming in, they don't know nothing about Fairmount Heights. Why you paying a company? Who is this company?
Well, actually, these people know something about interpersonal relationships.
No,
that's what it's all about. It's not only particular to Fairmount Heights, it's to anybody. You know, it's about getting along, and the people that we're going to have, they know the secret to that. But the whole matter revolves around, even if somebody knows the secret, if people don't comply, you can have as many retreats as you want.
Well,
people
that's
have
right.
to be willing to give and to participate.
Work together.
If they don't do that, it's a waste of time.
Well, who is this company?
No, but this is what I'm saying. It's a small company, but I think they have good interpersonal skills.
Well,
my point is I always try to mediate. I try to do whatever I can to make people look at it from a common perspective. If you can't reach them that way, then you can't do anything.
But the thing is, it's a sad day. Because Fairmount Heights and North Brent were the first historical black towns in the state of Maryland.
And that's true.
And
that's
it's true.
And we don't want our reputation out there like that.
And your reputation is going down.
And that's true. So hopefully that through this or through some rebuilding, we can begin to see a difference in it. That's what I'm saying personally.
And,
that's what I'm saying.
Okay. Miss Liaison to the Public Works, I need to talk to you.
Okay, Mr. Webber, did you want to be introduced for a moment? Did you want to be introduced? You want to just introduce yourself and just let them know that you're running for office also? Okay. And then we'll accept the motion for adjournment.
I just wanted to say that everybody congratulates you to show good faith. Everybody on the council, because I know when everybody gave their report, they didn't say congratulations.
Yeah.
Can I just say this before y'all go into close? I want to say this, as a concerned citizen of Fairmount Heights, right? I need to go to the podium. The mayor acknowledged someone else first, council member.
Huh?
Wait a minute.
The mayor acknowledged first.
Okay, Harriet, let her go first so she can introduce herself. Yes. Let her introduce herself. Okay.
Thank you. Oh, I know y'all are tired, but my name is Gladys Weatherspoon, and I'm running for Prince George's County Circuit Court Judge. And I'm asking for your support. I've been a defense attorney for 25 years. What did you say? I've been a defense attorney for 25 years, and I've been working mostly with younger people and trying to teach people their rights. And I just think it's about time that we have a different kind of judge with a different kind of mindset, where people aren't just rushing and getting everybody in jail for small crimes. And so I would like you to consider me, remember me. The election's not till April, but I'm going from town to town, from meeting, church to church, and trying to meet people individually. So that's it. And I really appreciate your time. Gladys Weatherspoon, and I have my card. I'm going to give you my card. And also, I would like to say that if you have a group of
juveniles who would like to be involved in a class about what to do when you're being stopped and questioned, that I would be more than happy to lead that. So if somebody wants to organize something like that, I'd be happy to teach it and teach people how to handle those kinds of situations. Okay. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. That would be a service that could be of a great advantage to us here.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, a lot of people, well, most of the time, naturally, the younger males, they always get stopped, and it would be something that's very serviceable to the state.
And they don't know that they can say, I don't want to talk to you, no
Yeah.
matter how many times somebody says, let me talk to you.
Okay.
So, okay, thank you very much, Mayor, I appreciate
I think we can accept
it.
something like that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. All right, former council member Saunders, you want to come onto the podium so we can get a motion for adjournment?
Okay. Good evening. How y'all doing? I'm gonna be real brief. Last time I was here, I asked for a copy of the budget so I can see where the funds were going. I still haven't received that.
Okay. Ms. Tucker, tomorrow, can you get Councilmember Saunders a copy of the budget? Pull it out for him. You come here and pick it up tomorrow?
Okay. And I also posed a question about public works. That Public Works seems to be dishoused from their location where they were at, and doesn't seem like there's been a contingency plan to have Public Works somewhere. And another thing that's troubling is the reason for me asking for the copy of the budget is because I wanted to know how much was being spent on this 86th anniversary, and I haven't got a response yet.
Oh, okay. Okay. So if you pick the budget up tomorrow, it'll be listed there.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see, if you have other questions, you can actually bring those forward. You can bring those forward.
Okay.
And when is the next 85th anniversary meeting, council member?
It'll be posted on the TV. Right now, I don't have it in my calendar. It's monthly, and I want to say it's the third Thursday, but we changed it to
Wednesday.
To accommodate all the other meetings that are going on. What
Okay.
channel again? Channel 11. Yeah.
Okay.
So you said it's the third Wednesday?
We changed it to accommodate all the other meetings, so I'm not sure. That's what I just said. It will be posted.
So
It's gonna be posted. We'll send some notices.
Okay.
okay, all right.
All right. Thank you very much. If there is no other citizen participation, at this time I will accept a motion for adjournment. And first of all, I want to say thank you all so very much for coming. I didn't really talk about the whole situation with recall because I'm putting that behind me, and I don't want to keep rehashing this negativity. And the reason why, because last Thursday when I came here, I called a special meeting just for that. And, you know, I don't mind talking about it personally to anybody, but I can't keep on living this nightmare because that's exactly what it was. So I'm moving forward because I know that's the only way that the town can move forward is that I take the initiative to move it. So I just want to say thanks to everyone who came. Thanks for all your comments. Thanks for your love that you showed, because I emphasized in that meeting, love generates love and hate generates nothing but hate. We don't need that in this community. We don't need it. So thanks again to everyone.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. So at this time, I will accept the motion for adjournment.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn and to move into executive session to discuss our personnel issue.
All right, the second. I need the second on that. You're doing the second. You're doing the second. It's been properly moved that we adjourn. And I want, like I said, thanks to everyone for coming. For everyone, could we adjourn with a mitzvah? And that directly says, may the Lord watch between me and thee while we're absent one from another. Thank you all. Amen.
Amen. Y'all didn't say why you wanted to.